1, 2, 3.
It always feels better taking the cash off the boys. Managed to put one over for about 70, 75. It was an amazing feeling, you know, being in a World Cup, and the next goal is to win one.
Hodge looking for groin better. Hodge cuts through!
I guess I first got into rugby when I was sort of about 5 or 6 years old. Like most kids growing up in Sydney and Northern Beaches especially, is kind of, you just play whatever your mates played on weekends. So I started off with soccer, had rugby union, rugby league, bit of Aussie rules. Rugby was probably the one I played the longest and the one that was the consistent the whole way through, and just love, I guess, what rugby's about, the values. Also the people I'd met through rugby were always great people, and just came down to me loving the game as well, so I stuck with it, and yeah, happy I did. I don't know, I think I was a little bit taller than a lot of kids my age when I first started out. I guess my parents remember me as, they could always spot me. We had very blonde hair, and they'd always be able to spot me with blonde hair, just running around and trying to get into the action.
Looking forward to seeing Reece Hodge play from the Manly club in Sydney. He's a guy who plays lots of positions.
Yeah, playing style has probably changed over the years. Most guys you talk to now who are in the backline, they grew up playing sort of number 10 or number 9, nice and close to the action, so you can get the ball out to the other guys in your team. And obviously I've kind of bounced around positions a fair bit over the past few years. So I used to play a lot of number 10 and have now kind of moved around, and it's amazing how much the game changes from when you're 12 years old to playing at the professional level. So just trying to roll with the punches there.
Turns and runs away, Reece Hodge lands another penalty goal.
I guess as a kid I was always kind of there an hour and a half before every session, and probably trying to get my parents to let me stay there for an extra half hour after, just kicking. From when I was a young age, I just always loved watching the goal kickers and the guys kicking for touch, and just tried to emulate them. And Matt Burke was my favourite player when I was younger, and then when I was a little bit older, going through my teens, Quade Cooper was a favourite of mine, and obviously now having been able to play with him for the past sort of 5 or 6 years is pretty cool. But yeah, I was just one of those kids that just wanted to be like the guys on TV, and always was just practicing before training. So I think that definitely had something to do with maybe the timing with my kick, and that kind of leads to distance. So I'm not really sure, maybe the long skinny legs as well, but yeah, I guess it's worked out that way.
What a kick! Reece Hodge, Wallaby number 897.
In training, there was about a 40k an hour tailwind at Manly Oval back in, it was 2012, 2013 or something like that, and managed to put one over for about 70, 75 or something like that. But it was very heavily wind assisted, and it's probably never going to be repeated again, but I'll claim that still.
Reece Hodge, 22 years of age yesterday, on debut, becomes Wallaby number 897.
I guess the first time for me being involved in the Wallabies was back in 2016 in the June series against England. We actually played a game here at Amy Park against the Western Force, and I just missed out on being announced in the squad a couple of days earlier. And Mikey Harris, who was playing for the Rebels at the time, unfortunately picked up a hammy injury in the game, and I was kind of coming off the ground, and the manager brought the phone over, and it was Michael Checker telling me that I'd been picked in the squad to replace Mikey, and pretty surreal moment. And then I guess was kind of involved with the squad for a couple of months, and then got to make my debut against the All Blacks in Wellington. The bench wasn't selected until sort of the Thursday or Friday leading up to the game, so it wasn't like these days where you kind of get to tell them on a Monday and they can be prepared. So it was probably more of a scramble to get them across to Wellington for the game, and the countless hours of sacrifice that they made to get me to that moment was pretty special to have them there. And I think they were very emotional. I guess especially watching me sing the national anthem, in a test match is probably when it hit home for mum and dad, and obviously a really special moment as a kid. You dream of wearing the Wallabies jersey growing up, and to finally pull it on and get a chance to be out there with a lot of my childhood heroes was pretty special.
Reece Hodge! Scoring tries for fun at home.
Yeah, pretty standard day off behaviour is Black Gold's my local cafe just down in Richmond. So just scoot down there, grab a little coffee, and hang out with a couple of boys in the morning and get a bit of recovery done, whether that's at the beach or sauna or something like that. And then we've got a big golf crew down here, so usually head out to the course in the afternoon for a 2v2 cash game. Always keeps it interesting. Even when you're not hitting the ball well, you don't want to let your partner down, and it always feels better taking the cash off the boys than handing it over. So that's usually a day off activity. And Carter Gordon's got the lowest handicap. He's off about 1 at the moment. It's pretty special golf. I reckon he's got a bit of a future if he gives up rugby one day. He can get on the Masters circuit or something like that. But we've got a lot of competitive guys around sort of 9, 10, 11 handicaps. So it makes it interesting. And if you're off on the day, you can lose cash pretty quickly.
No way. Reece Hodge, he's a freak, seriously.
Yeah, I'm a Western Bulldogs fan. So when I first moved down to Melbourne, I was kind of in the western suburbs over near Footscray. So jumped on the bandwagon actually in 2016, just before they won the premiership. So it was didn't have to wait long for a bit of glory, and they've had a few good seasons since then. So hopefully they can go on better in 2023 and win the premiership again. Geez, that's a tough one. I would have said maybe Josh Dunkley, but he's gone to the Lions now. Libba's a bit of a tough nut over the ball, so maybe chuck him on the flank or something like that. He'd maybe hold his own. He's obviously got the ticker for it.
Australia through then by the skin of their teeth.
I guess I was lucky enough in 2003 at the Home World Cup to go to a few games and just see what the atmosphere was like, and that was something that I always wanted to be a part of, when I got older. And so I guess be at the Japan World Cup in 2019 was an amazing feeling. We're obviously disappointed with how the results turned out, but it was an amazing feeling, being in a World Cup and pulling on that Wallabies jersey. And I guess for me now, the next goal is to win one. And to play at the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France would be an amazing feeling. I guess having a lot of friends and family already booked over there to go and watch a lot of the pool games, a bit of pressure to be a part of it. But hopefully I can perform in Super Rugby season to be a part of the squad that heads over to France. And I probably haven't had that much success in my professional career so far with the Rebels or with the Wallabies, really. I know we've had some great games and great wins, but haven't really been able to back it up and have consistent periods of success. So to win a World Cup, you obviously need to be at the peak of your powers for a whole 6 or 7 week block, and it's probably hard to imagine what it's like right now, but in terms of achievements, that'd be right at the top of the list. So it's definitely a dream and a goal for not only me, but I guess a lot of people in the squad at the moment, and hopefully it can come to fruition.